Hello, welcome to part 4 of the AJ6 How to Be a Gabbai guide. In this particular edition of the guide, we are clearing up all the other little bits that we haven't looked at before in terms of some of the pieces of halacha and the way you look at that, and in terms of some extra bits and bobs that you might need to do that we haven't already covered. So the first thing I want to talk about is that we've talked about, we've primarily covered Shabbat things so far. The first thing is that there's a slight change for if it's a general weekday. If it's a normal weekday, you just leave out the bit about Shabbat, about Melizok, Shabbat, etc. Then there's also similar pieces for if it's a festival, which would usually be you supplement the word regel for Shabbat. It's all in the books, and similarly for Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur, Yom Din, again, it's all in the books. Just practice it once or twice and make sure you know it, but it's broadly speaking exactly the same stuff. The other things I want to look at are, first of all, I want to have a look at the prayer for newly elected officers. Now, this obviously would normally be done after a synagogue AGM, but we in AJ6 have a recent tradition to say this prayer on an April national weekend, since that's the first national weekend of the calendar year for the new exec. So I'm going to try that one now. It's on page 27 of this book, the United Synagogue Call-Up book. So here we go.
מי שברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב הוא יברך את האנשים והנשים אשר נבחרו להיות מנהיגי קהילתנו, תן בליבם אהבתך ויראתך ורוח חוכמה ובינה לעסוק בצורכי ציבור באמונה. הקדוש ברוך הוא יברך אותם וישלח ברכה והצלחה בכל מעשי ידיהם ונאמר אמן.
The other piece of trivia we're going to look at is the Birkat HaGomel. This is for someone who has just gotten over a life-threatening situation. This is usually given by someone who's just travelled by air or sea, for example, or who has just been very ill and has recovered from their illness. So it's on page 371 in the old version of the Singer's Prayer Book. It's on page 412 in the new version of the Singer's Prayer Book. It's on page 443 in the Art Scroll Complete Siddur. It's on page 403 in the Art Scroll Linear Siddur. Page 6 in the Art Scroll Gabbai's Guide. And finally, page 5 in the United Synagogue Guide. The first part is a very short one-line bracha said by the Gomel, the person who has just recovered, and then the second part is said by the congregation as a whole. So we'll do the first bit first.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם הגומל לחייבים טובות שגמלני כל טוב.
And now we'll do the second bit, page references as before. Again, it's just a one-line thing, but this one is a response by the congregation as a whole.
אמן, מי שגם לך כל טוב, הוא יגמלך כל טוב סלע.